Live from the 301, live from the pot. I want to welcome my audience to episode number 200.
Yeah, let's go.
Episode 200. So we're doing things a little different. I have a live audience. This is Black Friday, and we're gonna do things a little different. Got my guy B Jones right next to me. So we're gonna have some fun with it. We're doing things a unique way tonight. B Jones is gonna be interviewing me, so you guys will get to see a different side of me, and we just gonna vibe, man. So again, thank everybody for coming out. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna hand it over to my main man to the left of me. This is the co-producer. I say this on every podcast where I have him featured on, but without him, I wouldn't be doing this. He was one of the first people that pushed me and told me to pursue it and really just stick with it. He was like, anything you need, I got you, bro. So he does a lot of stuff on the editing side, and a lot of stuff I'm just not able to do. So I really appreciate him for all that. But yeah, he's been on several episodes. He was also my first ever guest back on episode 35. So B Jones, what it do?
How you feeling?
I'm good, my guy.
I'm good, man.
Good, man.
Yeah,
you ready to do this?
Yeah, this is something new for the both of us. I wouldn't do this for a lot of people. You one of the few people, handful of people that I would do this for.
It means a lot.
So yeah, I got a few questions for you, different types of questions.
Okay.
Break it down. So like the first questions I have are like for you as a sports fan. Like we all know that you love sports, and I would say when was the or what's the earliest time that you can remember like that you feel like that you fell in love with sports? Like what's that first memory where you was like, oh, like I really like this? Like, so
I actually have like a real vivid memory. My mom's gonna love this, my dad too, but he's not really paying attention. But so like back in the day, I would say like 2000 maybe. We was at cousin Tasman's house, and they had they had like a big backyard, if I'm not mistaken, and like sandbox days, literal sandbox. And you remember the shot that Robert Horry hit where Shaq bounced it out to him, and he just shot it like as soon as he caught it. That's like one of my first memories period of sports. Like everybody was talking about Robert Horry hit that shot, and I'm like, I like the Lakers, and I seen Kobe Bryant, young Kobe Bryant with the afro, and I was like, nah, that's it. But besides that, I'll just say early moments of my dad yelling at the Redskins. And you remember Brad Johnson was the quarterback of the Redskins?
I don't think I was watching football
Brad
at
Johnson,
that time.
Yeah. So that's all. Yeah. Those are like my first memories. So okay. I would say that for sure.
So you say your dad like kind of got you into sports, and that kind of like shaped your early sports fandom.
Yeah, 100%. My dad, still to this day, he'll wake me up and talk to me about something that happened last night in the sports world. Like literally, he'll always do it. Like, you see what happened last night? Like, Kobe dropped 81 last night. Like, Kobe, did this, or Steph did this, LeBron did that, or Shaq got traded and stuff like that. He always wake me up like before school, like my whole life, and just tell me what happened before I can even fully wake up. That was my alarm clock before an alarm clock. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, I would definitely say that.
Got you. And to piggyback off that, I know everybody in this room probably knows. I know. Who would you say that are your favorite sports teams?
Oh, so I did like kind of copy off my dad. And he likes, well, I'm not going to say who he likes now because he likes a lot of different teams. But his original teams would be Redskins, so Commanders now, Lakers, New York Yankees. And then after that, he supports all the home teams. So Capitals, Nats, no Baltimore teams, no disrespect to Baltimore, but none of them. But yeah, all the home teams, but those three major teams, Lakers, Commanders, and Yankees.
Okay. It's the same for you?
The same for me.
Okay.
I kind of dabble. I I actually had like one vivid memory as a kid. I was playing like one of the old NHL games on like PS1. So I like the Detroit Red Wings. That was like the first thing I ever used.
Was it jerseys?
Yeah, no, the jersey is hard. The jersey is hard. It's a little red angel wing. That's tough.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll say, but I don't really like that. I can't even tell you a player that plays on the team.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, the jersey was hard.
So what would you say are like your top 3 memories of your favorite teams, like all across the board?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I don't got no good memories of the Commanders. In my lifetime, they won all the Super Bowls before I was even born. But I'll say RG3, his rookie year, that was pretty memorable. Damn. See what I'm saying? I guess most recently when they drafted Chase Young, I thought that was a huge deal. Just because the relationship that my parents have with his family. So I thought that was dope. Dang, off the top. Oh, Clinton Portis, when he first came to DC, me and my dad actually went to Circuit City and met Clinton Portis at Circuit City. He signed my football. I still have that football. I don't have it on me, obviously. But, yeah, he signed my football as a young kid.
It was like a meet and greet?
Oh, yeah, it's a meet and greet at Circuit City. You know, I'm taking it way back because that store don't even exist. But, yeah, I met him at Circuit City. As far as NBA memories I got for the Lakers, obviously, I would just say Kobe Bryant's career because, you know, I could go on and on about him. You know, and in particular those last 2 championships that they won, 2009, 2010, and then the bubble in 2020. And I'll say that for the Yankees, when they first signed CC Sabathia, I actually had the pleasure of reading his autobiography. It was really good to get some insight to him and just a couple of the challenges that he overcame as far as alcoholism and stuff like that. When they had A-Rod, Derek Jeter, all those guys. So I would say those are my best memories. As far as my favorite teams, and then for like Wizards, because I support all the home teams, when Gilbert Arenas was doing his thing. And it was also pretty dope because me and my parents went to the game last week, and Gilbert Arenas, Antoine Jameson, Caron Butler, they were all there. So that was pretty dope. And yeah, I would say those.
Okay. So who are your top 5 favorite athletes to watch, like right now?
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Right now, no order.
Yeah, no order.
No order. I'll say LeBron because he's still defying odds and beating Father Time and just playing at an extremely high level in year 20. So he's in my top 5. I don't really love his game, but I just love the fact that his game was able to age so gracefully, and he's still at the top of his game. He's still a top 5 player. Who else? That's a tough one. I gotta go with my guy Chase Young. Probably a little biased, since I know him and stuff like that. His rookie year was pretty spectacular, and just getting to know the person off the field, I have to put him in my top 5 just off of that. I'll say Odell Beckham Jr. when he's healthy, he's pretty amazing. It's just some of the stuff that he can do. Like he probably would have won Super Bowl MVP if he didn't get hurt in the Super Bowl. This is tough. Oh, Aaron Judge. I feel like I gotta give a baseball one. Aaron Judge, what he just did this year was pretty spectacular, breaking the record, Yankees franchise record for home runs, and like just hitting a home run is super exciting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's super exciting. That's a big deal. So I got to throw him in there. And then, that's tough. One more? Yeah, one more?
Yeah, one more. That was 4.
Ooh. I don't know. That's tough. You're going to laugh. I'll say Deshaun Jackson.
I thought you was gonna say Mahomes.
Oh!
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that one.
Oh, you just got me going. Patrick LaVon Mahomes the second.
I was waiting for
that.
That's
my guy. Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah, I know his whole name, his whole government name.
Okay.
How can I? Oh man, thank you. How can I forget that? honorable mention Deshaun Jackson, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes. How could I forget? He's spectacular. He's the best quarterback I have ever seen with my own two eyes. As far as talent, obviously everybody knows Tom Brady's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? You can't top those rings. But as far as from a talent perspective, I think he's the best quarterback of all time. Just pure talent. We're not talking accolades and achievements. We're talking talent. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's number one. I don't know. My bad.
Got you. So I've switched gears a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, like, in regard to your sports fandom, the Lakers. got a few questions about the Lakers.
Current state.
Yeah, current state. What's your thoughts on the current state?
So I do like head coach Darvin Ham. I think he's I've always felt they needed a new voice in the locker room. And Frank Vogel, he was cool for the time period he was there, but I felt like he was afraid to make big moves and big changes. And one of the early changes that Darvin Ham made was moving Russell Westbrook to the bench and having him play the six-man role. I didn't think that would happen with Frank Vogel. As of late, Anthony Davis has been balling, but I kind of feel like it's only a matter of time till he gets injured, unfortunately. I hate to say that, but we're going off, his history and, what we've seen. Guy just can't consistently stay on the court. LeBron James returns tonight, the night we're recording, so we'll see how it looks. But I just feel like the roster just isn't properly constructed, and I didn't think trading for Russell Westbrook was necessarily the right move to make. We fast forward to the playoffs, 2021 playoffs, and Anthony Davis got hurt against the Phoenix Suns. That's why they lost the series. They didn't need to go trade for Russell Westbrook. And then they made a couple of moves like signing Taylor Horton-Tucker over Alex Caruso and stuff like that. Just stuff that really didn't make sense to me. And I felt like they just went off, let's get Russell Westbrook. That's a big name. And it's not necessarily the proper fit. But, we'll see. I do like him coming off the bench as the sixth man. I am a fan of his game. We used to talk me and you used to talk back and forth. When he was on the Wizards, he was putting on, like, ridiculous stat lines. And I actually did see him play as a member of the Wizards, and I got that shirt when he broke the triple-double record. I got it upstairs. But, it remains to be seen. It's still pretty early in the season, about 20-game sample size. But, they got to make up some ground.
Okay. And just like to piggyback off that question, what moves do you think they should make, like not only this year, but over the next few years to like get back to playing Lakers basketball consistently?
It's a tough question to answer. Russell Westbrook does come off the books this year, so they will have some cap flexibility. Guys like a Kyrie Irving are going to be out there in free agency. We'll see. And they need to surround LeBron James for as long as he's playing. Need to surround him with shooting. He's always played with those dead-eye shooters: Mike Miller, Kyle Korvers, James Jones. The list goes on. Guys like that. You have to J.R. Smith. You have to surround him with guys that can shoot. Not guys that like can shoot, but like I'm talking like knockdown shooters. I'm talking your Joe Harris's, your guys like that.
Right.
Those guys that they're literally paid because they can shoot.
Right.
You need to surround the roster with those guys. So my man Squire agreed too. He's a Lakers fan too. I'm sure he can agree. And Kendall's a LeBron fan, so he could probably agree with that too.
So do you think they shouldn't like make any of those like moves for this year, like trade for Buddy Hield or any of those type of packages? You think they should wait out this year with Westbrook, get him off the books?
I personally will wait it out because I think trading for like the package that's been rumored, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, I don't think that puts them over the top.
Okay.
I don't think, you got a tough Western Conference, and it's like everybody can't play with the Lakers. Everybody can't, you're under a microscope when you're on the team with LeBron James. So everybody can't handle that. So it's like, it sounds good. Oh, they get Buddy Hield, get Miles Turner. All right, man. And they can make the playoffs, but win a championship, it's a little far-fetched, I believe.
Okay. And then, so after this season, do you think they should, like, still chase superstars or, like, just try to because Westbrook he's taking $47 million off the books. Do you think they should like fill that in with role players, or do you think they should go like after a Kyrie, or what do you think? Because they don't have any draft picks, they can't get any young guys. So what do you think
if
would
they
be the
can
best?
get? And I don't even consider. I don't even consider Kyrie Irving a young superstar, but I feel like, and he's gonna want to get paid, obviously,
Right.
probably for a significant length of time. But I would say if you could get Kyrie on like a 2-3 year deal, that'd be dope. If you're asking me right now, because I don't know exactly who's coming off the books, I would just say surround these guys with some talented young players. Like I would say like a Donovan Mitchell type, like that type of player, because you need these young players to carry you through a long, grueling 82-game season. LeBron James not interested in playing 82 games. Let's just call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. He don't want to play 82 games. Anthony Davis can't play 82 games.
Right.
He's physically incapable. So you got to get those type of players. You just need young players. And ironically, they had those players on the team at one point. You know, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, those type of players that can help carry and pull that weight for the duration of a regular season.
Got you. Okay, so let's talk about the podcast. Started 2017. I know we had a conversation. That was like early 2017, and you told me
Like
that you
late
were
March,
yeah.
early April.
You told me that you were considering. Was it something that had been on your mind for a while? Or was it like something that specifically happened? You were like that you wanted to start a podcast. Like how did that decision come together?
It was actually a specific series of events. It's Chase Young, but you know how we discuss sports every day. Like
Right.
me and you go back and forth and talk about stuff. And so I was just doing it in one of my group chats. And one of my friends, my guy, Jabari Cooper, he was like, you should start a podcast. And I'm like, no, it was actually my guy, Sean. He was like, you should start this same group chat. Sean was like, you should start a podcast. I'm like, podcast? Man, ain't nobody gonna listen to that, you know? 2 weeks later, same group chat, still talking about sports. Coop was like, you should start a podcast. And I'm like, that's when it like made me like actually consider it. So I'm like, all right, one person says it, that's one thing. A second person says it, that's another thing. And we're talking 2017, you know, now we're in a world where everybody has a podcast.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you, nobody was doing podcasts like that in 2017. So I guess I'm kind of setting a trend. But you know, like all these big major podcasts, you know, no shade, like All the Smoke and Knuckleheads podcast, they started like 2019, 2020, you know. But in 2017, a lot of people weren't doing podcasts, and so when they presented it to me, when the second person presented it to me, I was like, all right, you know, maybe this is something I should consider, maybe something I should pursue. And my guy Kendall here, I went to him, he does YouTube. I was like, yo, you got a microphone? And he was like, yeah. So he gave me my first microphone, the Blue Snowball. And that's when I reached out to you. I was like, you know, if I do the podcast, like, you support me? You were like, yeah, 100%, bro, I got you. And, you know, we'll see where it goes. And now we're here.
Okay. So since you started doing the podcast, do you think, has it like affected the way that you watch sports? Like, do you like look at it any deeper? Because I know you were like always in depth the way you were watching, but like, do you think did like, because when you go on the podcast, you're like, oh, I have to talk about certain things. So did it like make you focus in a little more, or do you think it was just already natural for you? Like you were already watching it that way?
I think it was already natural, to be honest with you. It was just about actually putting my observations into content. It was actually just, you know, recording it. And so what I say and what I talk about, it's pretty much comes from my observations, what I see, and then I just go talk about it pretty much. So yeah, that was always what it was, and I never it didn't change how I view anything. But you know, certain stuff you see, you're like, oh, I definitely got to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it became that.
Got you. What were some of your favorite moments or some of your favorite episodes that like stand out that you've done on the podcast thus far?
There's a few. There's a few. I got episode 49 with my guy Jairus Lyles. This was back when UMBC became the first 16 seed to defeat a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. That was a lot of fun. That was with my high school classmate, DeMatha Catholic High School, class 2013. You know Jairus. So, you know, it was cool just to see like somebody I know be a big part of history in the world of sports. Obviously something I love. And we were able to come together and do an episode, and I thought that was really dope. Because that's back when, you know, for a while I wasn't really having guests like that.
Right, that was one of the first.
Yeah, he's one of the first guests. So I had him on episode 49, had you on 35, had my dad on 50. That was cool just to be able to create content with my dad. I still gotta get him right, but it was cool to have. It was cool to have him on there, cause you know it's like the way you talk to somebody is different from when you're actually sitting down and recording. That's why I said I gotta get him right.
Right.
What else? I had the pleasure of interviewing Adrian Branch. He played at DeMatha back in the 80s or late 70s, early 80s, and you know, he's doing work with ESPN. He's also a motivational speaker. And it was cool to talk to him about his time at Maryland. And he played with the late great Len Bias. So that was cool to talk about. And they were actually friends. So I thought that was dope. Takira Carter was the first female guest I ever had. So I thought that was dope just to be able to, you know, create content with her. And now we see what she's doing now. Right. It's pretty dope. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my guy Bink. I love having him on. First time I had him on, he was 14. Now he's 17. So, just the growth and development, and even the change in his voice is something to watch. It's cool just to get his perspective. So, yeah, I definitely love rapping with him. So I would say those are some of my fondest memories of the pod.
Okay. What would you say, like, what makes Curry in the Pot unique? Like, what about it?
The intro for sure.
Yeah.
The intro for sure. And I guess my enthusiasm. I come with it every time. I know I've been getting a little inconsistent as of late, but just the enthusiasm that I bring on each and every episode, I think it's really different, because the goal not only was it to talk about sports because I love it, but the goal was also to, you know, gravitate to that person who doesn't really watch sports or doesn't really care about sports, and get them to want to listen just because I'm talking about it. So I thought, you know, I would say that's one of the things that make Curry in the Pot right there for sure.
Okay. And then this is my last question about the podcast. Mm-hmm. If you have any guests of all time, so like dead or alive, who would it be? And then like what would be the one thing that you want to ask
Kobe
them?
Bryant easily.
I knew it was going to come.
I couldn't even let you finish the question.
Yeah. If there was one question that you could ask him, what would it be?
I would ask him, like, what made that transition from basketball to like winning Oscars and stuff like that. Like, I know it seems easy to us, but it probably wasn't easy for him. But like how I would just want to ask him about that transition and what made it, like, it seemed so natural. Like, you don't just retire from basketball and then win an Oscar. Like, that's unheard of.
Right.
Like, he said Oscar means more to him than winning a championship. Like, that's crazy. And we know how he was about basketball. So I would just want to ask him about that transition, pretty much.
Okay. All right, cool. So I know that you've been doing work with Annie Up in the sports
Got Annie up in the
space.
building, actually.
Yeah.
Got Annie up in the building.
Tell us how that situation came together.
Soundman gonna laugh. He's here too, but shout out Soundman. Of course, the Soundman special. We got him I got him working tonight, but I appreciate him. But it came through our friend Rome. Me and Rome, I'm gonna say Roman. We grew up together. Went to kindergarten. I'll say pre-K and kindergarten together. And his parents are military, so after kindergarten, after kindergarten. I'm not gonna say he disappeared, but he, when you're in kindergarten, you're like, he disappeared.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah.
So it's like, bro, disappeared, like, bro,
Right.
gone. So I didn't see him until junior year of high school. We have the, I think we had mass, because it's like the opening mass for DeMatha, and I think it was like they were bringing in like each grade, each class. So I was junior, and I see this dude walking I see him walking like to his seat, and somebody was like, "That's Roman." I'm like, Roman. Like that's not that's not like a regular name. Like it's not like a normal name like Mike or Chris or Brian or nothing like that. It's not a normal name. Like this dude kind of look familiar. So I'm having class with him, and I'm like, nah, this is him. So we get to talking, and we just kind of like remain in contact ever since. That was his only year at DeMatha. And then we were still cool, when he made that transition back to Flowers and college and all that other stuff. We stayed in contact, and he invited me to the sports only chat. We have a sports only group chat, and then we have an Annie Up group chat. And then I was like giving out like bets in the sports only group chat. And then the meticulous Mark P, who was the CEO, we call him PEO of Annie Up Consulting, he invited me to Annie Up, and that's how I linked up with them, with those good guys. But yeah, shout out to the whole Annie Up crew. Shout out to Soundman, our guy Paris, P, of course, guy Keith. Shout out to everybody who's tapped in with us, everybody in the Discord. We really appreciate all your support. But yeah, shout out to the whole Annie Up group.
Okay, so when it comes to finding bets, what's your approach? How do you determine what's a good bet or something that you're gonna go after?
So good question. I don't want to give out too much sauce, but me personally, I like to not strictly base stuff off trends, but I also like to look at like psychological things like, oh, he's playing his old team. He's going to want to like, perform well against his old team. Like, I made some money last year, or not even just his old team, or a guy who's playing in his hometown. Like I made some money with Markelle Falks last year. He came to DC, did his thing. Those are some things I look at, and then just what I'm seeing with my eyes, I base my bets off of that as well. So yeah, those are a couple of factors. I don't want to give out too much sauce, but
okay,
kind of just gave out some sauce, revenge and psychological. So yeah.
Has your approach changed over time, or has it like stayed consistent? You just like made little tweaks here or there?
I would say it's grown because, you can always learn. We learn something new every day. I feel like sometimes I could be super stubborn at how I approach things, and maybe a little. You gotta want to take the emotion out of it. It's like, man, this team lost last week. I don't want to bet them. They suck. And then the team wins the next week. Like, you want to take that emotion out of it. And yeah, I would just say everything has come with growth. You know what I'm saying? Over time. And, I've gotten sharper and sharper over the years. I feel like the whole Annie Up group as a whole has got sharper over the years. So, you just got to grow. But yeah, I've definitely grown over the years though.
Got you. And so with the betting, if you get like on a losing streak, how do you handle that? Do you do you just take a few days off, or do you keep going, like try to plow through it? Like what's your approach to that?
Definitely take a couple of days off, man. I had a parlay last week. I lost on the Broncos. You like, why you bet on the Broncos? I know you're probably thinking that. Yeah. But I was mad. I was mad for a couple of days, man. I was honestly mad for like 2-3 days. Pissed off at the Broncos, bro. Like, I'm talking about it. Like, I got people in here that can attest to that. I'm talking about the Broncos for like 2 days straight. So, yeah, when we had those tough losses, just take some time off, man.
Get your head right, clear your head.
Just clear your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you'll lose even more. You start forcing stuff and stuff like that. You don't ever want to force stuff. You don't want to force your money and go broke and do stupid stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely.
Got you. Okay, so last few questions I have. just going back to the podcast real quick. Is there anything that you haven't done on the podcast that you want to do, or like any goals that you haven't accomplished?
I actually have a regret about my podcast that I didn't get to do. I should have, and I wish I would have interviewed my great grandfather, R.I.P. to Dave Jacobs, and I wish I would have interviewed him and just talked about boxing and his legacy. Cause he trained, Sugar Ray Leonard and Mike Tyson, and he traveled the world. Like I'm saying, everywhere, Japan, Korea, he went everywhere with boxing, and boxing is so global. You see all these different fighters these days. That's actually I wanted to mention that just because like it kind of eats at me sometimes, but. One thing that he did tell my mom to tell me was to keep talking and to keep recording. So I definitely continue to do that. But you said anything that I want to continue to do? I kind of got off subject.
Or anything that you haven't done that you want to, like somebody that you want to interview, or like a segment that you want to add, or something like that.
That's a few, bro. I'm waiting on that Chase Young interview. I'm waiting on the Deshaun Jackson interview. I'm waiting on both of those things, man. So. They gotta get with me. I've been trying to get with them for quite some time now. So I like to interview them and just get to interviewing other athletes and stuff like that. I definitely love to do that, or even have a live show like at like a big venue. That would be dope. Or like just have a live pod somewhere else. That would be dope, man. But I'll say those are a couple of things, off the top of my head that I would definitely like to do.
Okay. So this is the last question I have. Is there any outside of the podcast, is there any like sports projects or any type of projects that you see yourself doing in the future or want to work on?
I do want to get into like I was blessed to call a college basketball game up at Howard, women's college basketball. Shout out to the lady Bison of Howard University. That will always be dear to me just because that was my first time calling a game. So I would like to get, at least some more reps at broadcasting, because I had a lot of fun. I was definitely nervous. If you go back and listen to the tape, I was, stumbling a little bit out the gate. But it's my first time, man. You get better with time. You get better with repetition and stuff like that. So I like to get into that space a little more.
You called that football game too on I forgot the name of the app.
Colorcast.
Yeah,
Colorcast. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I mean I can go do that. I can colorcast this game right now.
Right.
That's cool. So I mean that's another way to build reps. But just get into that. Maybe get into like sideline reporting or like analyst work. Those are definitely some things I'm currently chasing.
Cool. So we have an audience here. Open it up to them if they have any questions. Bring the mic around.
I think some mics over there.
Oh, is Mike's over there?
Yeah.
Are they on?
That's the only one.
Is it on?
It's the only one.
No, it's the other one. Like around.
Are they on? Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Mom has a question.
Who's my favorite team?
The Rams?
You did not give a shout out to the Super Bowl
The Rams?
champions.
Well, they suck now, but
They suck now, but we still the champs.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
we went to
the
Super
Rams
Bowl
fan.
how many times in the last few years?
Since I have you here, tell everybody why you're a Rams fan. It's the most ridiculous thing you'll ever hear.
Those are my former initials: RAM, Rangela Nietzsche Martin. Sorry, that has nothing to do with football. I've been loving them since way back with Irk Dixon. So, shout out to the Rams.
Shout out Kurt Warner too.
Number 13, the best number ever, the best quarterback ever. Woo. 9/13, yes, my birthday. Thank you. But keep doing your thing, Michael.
Okay.
Proud
Thank
of you.
you.
Congratulations on episode number 200.
Thank you.
I have a
You got a celebrity on the
question.
mic, by the way.
Whatever.
You got a YouTuber. Many faces of Lex.
Whatever.
Has a microphone in her hand, ladies and gentlemen.
So first and foremost, I just want to congratulate you on your 200th episode.
Thank you.
And build your top 5 for
Top
like
5
a
what?
basketball team. Like,
Huh?
if you could build.
Oh, if I could build a top 5?
Top 5.
I was actually hoping I get this question. I have LeBron James at point guard. I have Michael Jordan at shooting guard. Kobe Bryant at small forward. KD at the 4, power forward. And Shaq at the 5.
Okay.
Actually, I've been thinking about
We like
it.
that. We like that. Thank you.
Is it on? Congratulations on number 200, son. One of your podcasts you did, I remember you did of I guess a kid played soccer. That was a really
Oh, yeah, my guy, Chris is doing it.
You need to shout that one out because that was a good one.
Yeah,
That was one of my favorites.
I totally forgot. My guy Chris is doing one of my high school classmates at the Matha. I'm gonna actually tell a story how that came about. Thank you for bringing that up. I was working retail at Snipes, formerly known as Kicks USA, and he came into the store, and it was like my first time seeing him since high school, and this was probably 2018, maybe 2018, 2019, one of those, and it was real good to see him. I knew he had cancer. He had stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, and when I saw him, he said he was in remission. And I was like, man, we got, get you on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? That's an amazing story to tell. He played for DC United. I know I failed to mention that, but we got to talking, and he it was a real great story. He talked about, the support of his family, the support of, his club DC United, and it was a real heartfelt story. Shout out to my guy Chris Aduriachin. That was a good story.
First of all, nephew, I want to say congratulations on your 200th episode.
Thank you.
I am so very proud of you. I actually think you should go into sportscasting. I think you should just put a net out there and see what's out there, because there is something out there for you. All
Thank
you
you.
have to do is just be patient, and it's going to come. But you gotta throw it out there. Now, when we were watching a football game on yesterday, and I hate the Dallas Cowboys, and you know that. But I saw something that came across the bottom of the screen that said that they may be interviewing Odell Beckham to come play with them. How true is that, and what do you think about that?
God, I hope not. First of all, he's one of my favorite players. I mentioned that earlier. There is that is one of the teams he's considering. I think it's Cowboys, Giants, 49ers, Chiefs, Bills, I believe. So that is true. He is considering them. So let's just hope. Anybody Cowboys fans in here? Okay, well, I hope it doesn't happen to my audience. So yeah.
And then I have one other question. San Antonio Spurs, that's my favorite basketball team of all time. So you got to give me a little bit of insight as to what's going on with them, because, I'm a big sports fanatic.
Yeah.
Come from a family of sports fanatics.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
already know.
Yeah. They're rebuilding. It's going to be a long rebuild, Aunt Diane. I'm not even going sugarcoat.
You think Popovich will stay?
He'll probably retire soon. I don't know why he's still coaching, if you ask me, but I guess to do something with these young players, because it's a real young group of guys. So
Right.
all the players they currently have are young, like Trey Jones, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, a bunch
I don't
of
even
young.
know anybody anymore.
Yeah, a bunch of young players. So I don't know. He has the jewelry, the championships. I don't know why Popovich is still coaching. Guess for the love of it, to inspire a group of young men. Because, like I said, the team is young. Might be the youngest team in the league.
Okay.
But yeah, it's gonna be a long rebuild. They won't be back on top for. Sorry to break it to you, like another decade.
Anybody from overseas
Overseas?
that they have on their team currently?
Who they got? Jakob Pertl? Yaka Pirtle's on that team.
But he's been in the U.S. for a while.
Yeah, he's been in the U.S. for a while.
They don't have anybody coming over, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Unless they get Victor, but...
Oh, Victor Wembanyama. That would be dope for the Spurs. That would jumpstart their rebuild. Victor Wembanyama. So, yeah. It's going to be a long rebuild. So, stay patient. Any more?
I think I have 2 more questions for you.
I'm all ears.
Okay, so do you think KD is ever going to come home?
No.
And why?
Because he said he don't want to play here. He don't want to. It's too much distraction going on in D.C. Like, you got to think about it. You got to think about it. A player comes home, all the, stuff they got to deal with. All the, he has enough money to be protected from that. But, leeches and stuff like that, they want to. I think, honestly, if you look at this Wizards team, like, it would be a good fit with this roster that we're looking at right now. But I think I don't think he'd want to be here. Like, he didn't even go to college here. He went to Texas to get away from here. So, yeah.
Okay, and my last question is, how do you feel about the whole, like, Kyrie Irving situation? Gotta ask, because, like, we gotta talk about those issues sometimes too, because I feel like it's important to tackle issues like that, especially like when so many people who have done similar things have like gotten a pass for it.
Yeah.
So what do you like? How do you feel about that?
So I think it was a bit unfair, just because I'm not gonna like say it was blown out of proportion, because I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not, I don't got anything against Jewish people. But I do think like it was a little overblown, because he shared a link, and it's not like he wasn't necessarily promoting it as he mentioned, but like they kind of made him go through a bunch of stuff. Like, they wanted him to apologize, and they wanted him to sit down with the owner, who's Jewish. The commissioner of the league is Jewish. So, I will say, if he wasn't Kyrie Irving, they would have made an example out of him, and he would have been out of the league. There was a player a couple of years ago, a Caucasian player by the name of Myers Leonard, and he basically said a Jewish remark, a Jewish slur that is like being called the N-word. He said that, and he hasn't been in the NBA since. So, but this is Kyrie Irving. I do think, like I said, they would have made an example out of him if he wasn't Kyrie. But yeah, I do think it was a little bit blown out of proportion.
For sure. Thank you.
Okay.
That I was sitting here thinking about. And I always mess his name up, so bear with me, Mutombo.
Mutombo? The Cameron Mutombo?
Yes. Okay. So he has been diagnosed with having a brain tumor.
Yeah.
And he's done so many things over in his country. He's built a hospital.
Congo, yes.
So many different things. So now that he's dealing with this major health issue, you have any updates about that?
Last thing I read was he was doing fine, like he was doing better. But I would just assume, I would say he's one of God's angels. All the great things he's done over in Congo. He played in the league for a while, and he gave back to where he was from. And at the time, there weren't many international players to come into the league and to give back and do all the things he's done. I think he's like one of God's angels. But yeah, last thing I read was he was doing well. Probably like a month ago, but that was the last. I think Alonzo Mourning had shared an update on him. That was the last update I had.
I actually got a chance to meet him at a funeral a few years ago.
Wow, really?
One of the doctors that I worked for, it was his daughter's. And I was amazed, because I'm looking at this man that's so tall and I'm so short.
Yeah, he's 7 feet.
And for him to we actually had a conversation, and I was like, wow, this man is actually talking to me.
That's dope.
So I was really,
Yeah, that's just pretty dope.
yeah, and just to know that he's going through what he's going through right
Yeah.
now. So
That's a good question. Got any other questions? That was all you had, bro?
That was it.
Those the only questions you had?
That was it.
All right, well, we have any more? We don't? Squire, Rashida, Kendall, Soundman, Aunt Sheila. Aunt Sheila, you like to talk. How you not have a question for me?
Not today. Child.
All right, well, I guess this concludes episode 200. I'd like to thank my audience for coming out tonight. It's been fun. It was a first. I'd like to thank everybody who has played a role in this podcast and who's helped me reach this milestone. It's definitely been a journey, but it doesn't stop, man. We got to do episode 201 next week, so we're back at it. We're back at it, and I look forward to creating more content and creating 200 more episodes. B. Jones, I want to thank you. You did an excellent job. I know this is a little different for you. But yeah, this was fun. This is a lot of fun, man. So yeah, to my audience, thank you guys for the continued love and support. Everybody's been rocking with me since day one, even everybody, the day 2, the day 3s. I appreciate you guys. B. Jones, got any remarks?
Just honored to have this opportunity. Blessed to speak with you in your home. Episode 200. So that's just one thank you for that.
Yes, sir. All right, so to my audience, I love you guys. Appreciate the continued love and support. Episode 200 is done. Peace.